got Kendra totally mad at Drew. She's like, like acting like a dog trying to, I'm gonna get him. I'm like, Kendra, calm down. Is she losing it? Welcome to La Vida Rosa. I'm your host, Pinky. Today we're going to be talking about Survivor. So if you'd like to see more, then just stay tuned, like, comment, and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into this video. Before we begin, I'm going to let y'all know right now, I am not a super fan. Okay, I'm a casual fan. All right, I just started watching the show maybe like a couple of weeks ago. I binged a few seasons and I really like it. I think I've gotten the hang of the format and like the different aspects of the game. You know, I kind of got a taste of the strategy and the politics and, you know, the social game and even the physicality. Do I know the history? Like who won this year and who did this, that, and that? I don't know all that, okay? I'm just like a new fan of the show and I want to talk about it. So that's what I'm doing. I've seen all of the episodes from this season, but I'm just gonna start with episode 5 since that's the one that just aired. And I'll include some things that happened before, but I'm mainly talking about episode 5. I do want to talk about the Lulu tribe though. The original Lulu tribe. Because it was so embarrassing. Oh my goodness. First of all, we have Brandon. Brandon was crying before he even got to the island. Brandon was crying on the boat before they even made it there, okay? Brandon couldn't climb up a ladder. Okay, and I know for a fact Brandon would have been the first one that would have went home had that other girl not left early. I can't even remember her name. It's crazy because Brandon is a super fan and he should know what he's signing up for. He should know what his abilities are, but he thought he was good at puzzles, couldn't even do a puzzle, child. So it's like they continuously lost mainly because of Brandon. And so it wasn't a shocker when he was eliminated. Like, I really liked Subbie, and I thought Subbie was gonna be like in there. I thought she was gonna make it to the merge, child, but Subbie, she ended up shooting herself in the foot, getting too cocky. You know what I'm saying? She had a whole idol. She was so cocky she didn't think she needed to use it. And honestly, I'm starting to think, just based off of what I've seen so far, my thing is if you have an idol, you probably just need to use it. I don't know, maybe that's not a good strategy to have, but just use it. Use it or lose it. And Sean, when Sean just decided to up and leave last episode, why didn't he leave when the first girl left? Like, I don't know. He's a principal too. What is that saying to the kids? You just gave up so easily? I don't know, child. I feel like they put all of the quitters on Lulu. Like, did they do that on purpose? They put all the I don't want to say weakest, but they put all of those same people on one tribe just to, it was like a social experiment. Y'all let me know, is this like a record of the most people quitting in one season? They truly made Caleb and Emily look like masterminds. Are Caleb and Emily that good, or were they just that bad? Even though Emily was running her mouth too much in the beginning, thank God she has Caleb, because I feel like Caleb kind of like reeled her back in just in time for her to mingle with her new setup without rubbing people the wrong way and getting voted out. Because I feel like, you know, with the way she ran her mouth, like she was another one right on the boat getting into it with somebody before they even made it to the island. I'm like, Emily, pull it back. Like, you might be smart, and I do feel like she's very smart and strategic, and, you know, she understands the game. And I feel like her and Caleb, like, I was joking about them being masterminds, but I feel like they're gonna at least make it to the merge. But I'm glad that she's pulled back a little bit and, you know, play the background just to taste. You ain't gotta always be in the forefront causing a divide, because that is just gonna put a big target on your back. With that being said, with these reviews, I think I'm just gonna review it by tribe. I'm gonna start with the Reba tribe. When we pick up with the Reba tribe, child, they just got done eliminating Sean. Sifu picked up on the fact that somebody voted for him, even though right before the vote Sean told them he wanted to go home. But D said the plan was to vote Sifu out, so I'm still gonna write his name down, okay? Sifu felt some type of way about that, okay? And he wasn't letting it go. So when they got back, he immediately confronted everybody like, who voted for me? And all of a sudden everybody don't want to talk right now. I'm tired. I don't feel like it. Nah, he was like, nah, who did it? And so it's like, girl, if you did it, you did it. Just woman up and tell the truth. Like, nobody wanted to take accountability for what they, well, D, she didn't want to take accountability for voting for him, because I think she was the only one to do that. Nobody wanted to snitch. Nobody wanted to put her out there. So everybody's like, well, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. And D lied and said she didn't do it, even though she did. And he was like, well, Sean already told me he didn't do it. So it had to be one of y'all. And all of them were like, dang, did he have to throw us under the bus on the way out? They're shaking in their boots right now because Sifu has been very sneaky, trying to look around the site to see if he could find an idol, and they know that if he does play one, then they will go home. And so they kind of been tiptoeing around the situation. What they don't know is that Sifu made a fake idol and he told everybody that he has one as, like, I guess an insurance plan, just in case they have to go to tribal council. And Jay, she's feeling a little nervous for herself, so she decided that she wanted to tell Sifu that she was the one that wrote his name down. Basically tell him that she's on the outs with the rest of the group so that he doesn't play their idol, and so they can like backdoor him and all vote for him. And but what they don't know is he can't play an idol anyway because it's not real. While Jay is coming up with this plan, D decided that they should all be blindsiding Jay instead. But it turns out that they won immunity at the challenge, so all of this is null and void until, I guess, they end back up in tribal council. So now let's move on to the Lulu tribe. We see Jake has passed out. I believe it was last episode he passed out. And like, he's not like passing all the way out where he's laid out on the ground and like, it's almost like he'll fall down to his knees, lose consciousness for a few seconds, and then kind of like come back to. He's just very, very frustrated about that because he's been just fine when it comes to the competitions. He's been, you know, he's been able to participate in all of that. But when it comes down to just him, you know, walking across the island, he'll pass out. And so he's frustrated because he said he used to have a huge binge eating problem. He used to weigh a lot more than he does now, and he worked so hard to lose that weight and to be prepared to come on the show, only for this to be happening to him now. And I do kind of feel bad for him because if his body is just making him pass out, and I assume it's from not eating and from heat exhaustion, and you know, it could be a number of things that are happening. It's not like he's just in the best state, you know, living on an island. It's sad because he might eventually have to leave from something that's outside of his control. And so then we have Coutura. I love Coutura. I do feel like Coutura is spiraling a little bit, but I'm so glad that now she has someone like Caleb to kind of balance off of. He seems like he kind of wants to align with her a little bit, and even though he seems like he's kind of trying to align a little bit with everybody, but it does seem like he has her back. It's funny because all of them go off. I don't know if they went off to go get food or what, but while they're gone, she decides to search for an idol. And it's funny because Caleb was like, Coutura, like, and so she like hurries up and turns around, throws her stick, and acts like, you know, she's kind of like a cartoon character, like, oh, I wasn't doing anything. And she really thought she was being so smooth. Like, Caleb had to tell her, like, no, we knew, like, everybody knew you were looking for an idol. But yeah, everybody is now looking at Coutura as a liability because they feel like, you know, she's kind of like all over the place. So like I said, Caleb has been taking Coutura under his wing, so to say. And so he decided to go ahead and tell her about Subbie having an idol but not using it, and that's how she ended up getting voted out. And yeah, he's just really good. He's very charming. He knows how to work. He knows how to work these relationships and, you know, stay in on people's good side. So then we get to Bruce. Bruce be getting on Coutura's last nerve. He get on mine too, okay? Coutura's to the point where she don't even care if she wins $1 million. I just want to beat Bruce. I just want Bruce out of here, okay? And why is it that I am the only one that can see Bruce for what he is, okay? Because Bruce is very condescending. He thinks he knows everything. He thinks because he was here for a day that he is Bruce Almighty. Okay? And Bruce, the only advice you can give is to wear a helmet. No shade, okay? And really, you're blessed to have been invited back. And also, I don't like that he insults people's intelligence by trying to play this, oh, wacky doodle daddy. Like, he gets on my nerve. Like, the jokes that he tells are like for children. And they're just like, oh, Bruce, oh. And I'm with Couture. I'm like, do y'all not see that this man is playing in y'all face? She taking it personal, okay? She's taking it personal. They had this whole argument about how pregnant women deserve a push gift. And he was like, the gift is the child. No, the gift to the man is the child. Because the woman, she had to suffer for 9 months. You know there's a long list out there of what women go through. And they include losing their hair, their teeth, okay? Nose spreading, feet plumping, okay? Back issues. They got to go through 9 months of that. I know somebody that had morning sickness for 9 months of their pregnancy. Couldn't keep nothing down. Some people have great pregnancies, but a lot of women, their pregnancy is not sunshine and rainbows. And yes, that is a lot to carry a child. And so yes, if their partner wants to give them a push gift, they deserve it. Bruce. Anyway, so she's already on edge with him, and they end up having this conversation about conserving food, and Coutura was kind of making the suggestion that maybe they should go a day without eating, and Bruce gonna bust out with, that's the dumbest thing. Oh, well, not the dumbest thing, but basically trying to say that's the dumbest thing he ever heard of. And yes, look, I agree with him. We gotta eat, okay? But it's your tone, and it's the lack of respect that you be having for the people around you, because he does the same thing with Caleb. Caleb's starting to pick up on it now, because he was trying to boss Caleb around. He wasn't feeling it, okay? But Caleb is smart, because he's going along with it right now, because he's going to come for Bruce at some point, but he wants Bruce to feel comfortable, and he doesn't want him to see it coming. He want to backdoor Bruce, and I ain't mad at it. They couldn't do it this time around because they ended up winning 2nd place in the challenge. I keep mentioning the challenge, but I never said what the challenge was. It basically was a maze obstacle course, and they had to like go through, grab all the keys, and unlock sandbags and launch the sandbags at the target. And they're playing for immunity and rewards, and the rewards was fish. And y'all, everybody was starving. Everybody was so hungry. They looked so gaunt already. How long have they been there? These people look tired, sick, disheveled. But yes, Lulu ended up winning 2nd place, so they got 5 pieces of fish, and Reba ended up winning all of it, and they got 10 pieces of fish and cooking supplies. So shout out to them. Now let's move on to the Bellow tribe. So once again, the Bellow tribe is starving. They don't know. It's like, okay, y'all know y'all are coming on Survivor. We're on the 45th season. Why is nobody able to hunt, able to fish, find edible plants, fruit, crabs, mussels? Y'all can't find anything edible to the point where Kendra got to go over here and swallow. Well, she couldn't swallow it, but try to swallow a worm. Like, it's that bad out here, y'all. I feel like if you're gonna come on a show like this, in order to have your best chances, I feel like you should take like a wilderness course. Like, you should go somewhere and learn how to hunt, how to fish, like in the most primitive way possible. Like, go to a reservation or something and learn how to do it from the people that learn from their ancestors. Y'all need to do all the research. Go take a strategy course. Something like, I don't know. If I'm gonna come on a show like this, I'm gonna try to give myself the best chance I could possibly have. And if I didn't know how to hunt, I'm about to learn. We see Brando trying to find his footing with this new tribe. We have Brando and Kendra. They're from the original Bellow tribe. We have Drew and Austin from the original Reba tribe. And then we have Emily in the middle, and she's kind of like the swing vote, right? So at first, Brando is trying to connect with Drew. They're both nerds. They both play Pokemon. I mean, and they're nerding out for what seems like hours. And Emily is just sitting there like, looking like her head was about to spin. She already hungry, child. Once again, shout out to Caleb because he helped her reel it in. I'm sure she probably would have caused some drama by now, but she's just sitting there observing, okay? Brando ends up asking Drew if he wants to have some sort of nerd alliance with him. And it was so funny because Drew had to just politely decline, like, no. And I couldn't believe that Brando was doing all of this in front of Emily. Like, Emily saw the whole thing. And the reason why Brando was going to Drew is because he really didn't want to work with Kendra. But he decided he had to drag his feet back over to Kendra because that didn't work. So both the original Bellow tribe and the original Reba tribe are like kissing up to Emily and trying to get her to swing their way. All of this is before the challenge. They participate in the challenge and they end up losing, and they're the ones that have to go to tribal council. Before they go to tribal council though, Austin was chosen along with Jay and Kelly, and they all go on a journey, just those three from those tribes. So they end up having to trek to the top of a mountain. Mind you, they're starving. They have to trek to the top of a mountain, and they had to choose between either eating a sub and some orange juice or choosing an amulet advantage. Now, the rules of the amulet are they have to be played with all the other amulets in the game. And I was like, well, does that mean they have to be played at the same time? I was very confused by that. Also, the fewer the amulets, the more power they have. So if there are 3 amulets in play, it's a power of an extra vote. If 2 are in play, they have the power to steal a vote. And if 1 is in play, they have the power of a full idol. And the last time it can be used is when there is only 6 players left in the game. Austin was feeling some type of way. 1, because he was just very hungry and he wanted to eat, because they weren't gonna have no fish to go back home to because they lost. So Austin wanted to eat. But also he felt like he didn't want to use it because he felt it would make him a bigger target between the 3 and shoot for the rest of the group. And he felt like it would just be an incentive to want to knock each other out and not worth the trouble. But he was kind of forced into the pack because Jay wanted that real bad. She was real thirsty for the amulets, and Kelly was just in the middle like, oh, don't make me choose. But she secretly wanted to do it too. So they ended up making a pact that they weren't going to use it unless they agreed to use it. And they're kind of calling it, and they're calling it an alliance, but in Austin's mind, it made them more so rivals than anything else. And so, because he plans on getting them voted out and being able to use it as an idol in the long run, his goal is to send them home. Jay is so desperate at this point, she don't even see or realize that. Meanwhile, back at the camp, Brando is being just as desperate, and he offers Drew his shot in the dark so that he will vote for Kendra instead of himself. And once again, Drew politely shook his hand and refused. And Brando claims that he was playing and that he really didn't want to throw Kendra under the bus, and you know, he was gonna stick with his old tribe because that's a decent sized alliance. Drew already knew that he was being played, and so he told Emily about the whole situation, that Brando wanted to join her, Austin, and Drew as an alliance and vote Kendra out. Emily was confused about this whole thing because she just had Brando and Emily on the other side trying to pull her into their alliance. And so she ran back and told Brando what Drew was saying. Drew said that Brando was lying on him and saying that he was the one, that Drew was the one that brought it to Brando, that they wanted to get rid of Kendra and bring him in. And at this point, he has Emily's head confused and got Kendra totally mad at Drew. She's like acting like a dog trying to, I'm gonna get him. I'm like, Kendra, calm down. Kendra is a whole character. Is she losing it? Like, why was she like? So Emily ends up confronting Drew again and told him that she felt like he was lying because of what Brando just told her. And so before they could really get everything nailed down, Austin came back lying to everybody, acting like they had a challenge and they had an opportunity to win an idol, but they failed. And you know, once everybody left and dispersed, he ended up telling Drew the truth about the amulet. Drew says he thinks he should tell Emily about it so that they could gain trust with her and pull her over to their side. And that's what he did. So then we make it to tribal council. Brando is trying to make him seem like he's a very valuable player because of his relationships with the past Bellow tribe. No, it was Drew that was like, but that kind of makes you a threat as well because you have a big alliance. You know, all of them at this point are trying to look for their best positioning for after the merge, and they all come back together. So at this point, Emily is the only one on the outs because she doesn't have a former tribe to lean on. Lulu is gone except for Caleb. So she's trying to see what would be the best path for her moving forward to even get to the merge. So they actually get to the vote, and y'all, I'm so confused. I know that Austin had some sort of idol or advantage before, and then he ended up getting the amulet. So did he use both of those during the tribal council? Like, and if he did use them, why didn't he speak up when Jeff asked, did anybody want to use their idol? Like, did he use it during the voting? Like, I'm so confused as to what happened. But at the end of the day, Brando was voted out, and Kendra was in complete shock because she thought she had Emily on her side with Brando. They thought they were gonna vote out the other side, and it just did not happen that way. Like, my girl's jaw was on the ground, and Emily was trying to console her, and she was like, get off of me. Get off of me. Okay? She was not playing. I felt so bad for Kendra because she was the one that was blindsided in that moment. So, child, I wonder how this is going to be moving forward. Low-key, if they lose again, Kendra probably going home. But what do y'all think? Do y'all think that Emily made the best decision? Personally, I do. I think she chose the people that are going to help them to win moving forward. Even though Drew didn't do the best in this challenge, he is really smart, and I feel like he would be good with puzzles. So I think that was a good choice to keep him, as well as Austin. He's like good physically, so I think they'll be good moving forward until they get to the merge. And also, I feel like if she develops good enough relationships with Drew and Austin, they could be a good final three. Did they agree to a final three? I could see them as a final three though. But I wonder how that would work out with Caleb, because I'm sure she would want to have some sort of alliance with him as well. But we'll see how that works moving forward. Y'all let me know what y'all think down below. Do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? I'd love to hear your opinion. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Peace. Not to mention, Brando was shady and lying every chance he got. He just was not trustworthy. And Kendra, you're going to see that when you watch this back. He just was not trustworthy. I'd rather you... Brando was just too shady and shifty and too easy to flip. Like, he wasn't the best ally to have anyway. So I definitely feel like Emily made the best decision.